In 1918, something extraordinary happened inside a small convent in Italy. Padre Pio woke up in the middle of the night to supernatural screams echoing through his room. Witnesses reported blood-chilling sounds, objects flying through the air, and a malignant presence so intense that even the most skeptical were shaken. But what was causing this demonic fury? It wasn't an exorcism. It wasn't a sacred relic. It was something far simpler and far more powerful. A practice you can begin today. Padre Pio once said, "The devil is afraid of souls who pray." But he wasn't talking about just any kind of prayer. He was talking about one specific practice that Satan fears more than anything else. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly what this practice is, why it terrifies the forces of darkness, and how you can use it to completely transform your spiritual life. Before we begin, if you want to strengthen your faith and trust God more deeply, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That helps YouTube share this message with more people who need it. To understand why Padre Pio's testimony is so powerful, you need to know who he truly was. Francesco Forgione was born in 1887 in a small Italian village. From early childhood, he had extraordinary mystical experiences. By the age of 5, Jesus and Mary were already appearing to him. But his life was far from easy. When he became Padre Pio, brutal demonic attacks began. I'm not talking about ordinary temptations. I'm talking about physical manifestations. Demons appearing as monstrous animals, attempting to strangle him, burning his clothes. One day, fellow friars found his room completely destroyed, scratched walls, broken furniture, and Padre Pio unconscious on the floor, covered in bruises. Why? Why did Satan attack him with such ferocity? Because Padre Pio had discovered a spiritual weapon so devastating that the forces of hell panicked at the very thought of it. And this weapon was available to anyone, even you. Before I reveal what this practice is, I need to tell you 3 real stories that will help you understand the absolute power of what we're talking about. During World War II, an American soldier was trapped in a trench, surrounded by enemies. No ammunition, no hope. He remembered a letter his grandmother had sent him, talking about Padre Pio. In that moment of total desperation, he began the practice Padre Pio taught. 3 hours later, with no logical explanation, the enemy retreated. The soldier survived. Years later, he traveled to Italy to personally thank Padre Pio. Do you know what the saint said? "I know. I was there with you in that trench." Impossible, right? Padre Pio never left Italy. And yet hundreds of people around the world reported the same thing. Padre Pio physically appearing to help them in their most critical moments. Another example of faith in Padre Pio, a woman with terminal cancer, given only 3 weeks to live by doctors. She began this specific practice that Padre Pio recommended. 2 months later, the tumors had completely disappeared. Doctors called it spontaneous remission. She called it a miracle. What do these stories have in common? The same practice, the practice Satan hates. The practice that terrifies Satan is the Holy Rosary. I know. You might be thinking, that's it, the Rosary? But wait, let me explain why the Rosary is not just anything, because this prayer has a power unlike any other. Why the Rosary is so powerful first. It is Our Lady's weapon. Padre Pio said, "The Rosary is the weapon. Use it." In 1214, Our Lady appeared to St. Dominic and gave him the Rosary as a weapon against heresy and evil. It was not a human idea. It was a divine gift. Second, it combines meditation and repetitive prayer. When you pray the Rosary, you are doing 2 things at the same time. Meditating on the mysteries of Christ's life, engaging your mind. Repeating prayers, engaging your heart and creating spiritual rhythm. This creates a deep state of prayer that breaks spiritual strongholds. Third, it invokes the intercession of the Mother of God. Satan hates Mary more than any other creature. Why? Because it was foretold that she would crush the serpent's head. Genesis 3:15. When you pray the Rosary, you're asking Mary to fight for you. And against Mary, Satan has no chance. Fourth, it requires time and discipline. Praying a full Rosary takes 15 to 20 minutes. Satan hates spiritual discipline. He prefers lazy Christians who pray for 5 seconds before bed. The Rosary demands commitment, and that commitment builds spiritual muscle. Padre Pio used to say, "Is the Hail Mary simple? Yes, but so is an atomic bomb in its essence, small, yet devastatingly powerful." Church history is filled with moments when the Rosary changed the course of events. Let me give you 3 verified historical examples. The Battle of Lepanto, 1571. Europe was on the brink of being conquered by the Ottoman Empire. The Christian fleet was smaller and poorly equipped. Pope Pius V asked all of Europe to pray the Rosary. On October 7th, the day of the battle, an impossible military miracle occurred. The Christian fleet won decisively. In gratitude, the Pope established the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary on that day. Austria and the Soviet occupation, 1945 to 1955. After World War II, Austria was occupied by Soviet communists. An Austrian priest, Father Petrus Pavlicek, began a rosary campaign called the Rosary Crusade of Reparation. Millions of Austrians prayed the Rosary daily for liberation. In 1955, without any logical, political, or military explanation, the Soviets simply withdrew. Austria became the only country peacefully freed from Soviet occupation. Documented exorcisms, official church exorcists, including Father Gabriele Amorth, Vatican chief exorcist for 30 years, stated clearly, "The Rosary is more effective against demons than many exorcism prayers." Father Amorth said, "When demons realize a person is praying the Rosary, they become furious and writhe in pain. It is incredible." But back to Padre Pio, he didn't just recommend the Rosary, he lived it. Padre Pio prayed an average of 30 to 40 rosaries per day, over 10 hours daily. He said that without the Rosary he would not have survived the demonic attacks. And there's more. Now you might be thinking, okay, I understand the power of the Rosary, but how do I start? I've never prayed it before. It seems complicated. Let me guide you step by step. Step 1. You don't need to be perfect. Many people quit because they think they must pray perfectly. You don't. Padre Pio said, "Pray as you can, not as you cannot. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently bring it back. God values effort, not perfection." Step 2. Start small. You don't need to pray a full rosary immediately. Start with 1 decade, 10 Hail Marys, then 2, then 3. Build the habit. Step 3. Choose a fixed time, morning, afternoon, or night. Choose a moment and reserve those 15-20 minutes. Treat it as a non-negotiable appointment with God. Step 4. Use resources. There are rosary apps, YouTube videos, including on this channel, and audio guides. Use whatever helps you. Step 5. Meditate on the mysteries. The Rosary has 4 sets of mysteries: joyful, luminous, sorrowful, and glorious, each assigned to specific days. They tell the story of Jesus and Mary. While praying the Hail Marys, reflect on the mystery. Step 6. Be consistent. Power comes from consistency. 1 rosary a day for a month is more powerful than 30 rosaries in 1 day. Padre Pio revealed this secret. Each Hail Mary is like a rose you place at Mary's feet. By the end of the rosary, you've offered a full bouquet, and Mary never ignores a gift. Now I want to challenge you, a challenge that can completely change your life. There is a devotion called the 54-Day Rosary Novena, based on an apparition of Our Lady. It consists of 54 consecutive days of praying the Rosary. First 27 days in petition, last 27 days in thanksgiving, even if the answer hasn't come yet. This commitment has an extraordinary history of documented miracles: healings, conversions, deliverance, financial provision, restored marriages. Why? Because it demonstrates faith, perseverance, and total trust in God. I've received hundreds of messages from subscribers who took this challenge. People healed from depression, addictions broken, families reconciled, children returning to the church. One woman wrote, "I was about to divorce after 25 years of marriage. I prayed the 54-day novena. My husband, who was an atheist, began going to church with me. Today we are renewed." Another wrote, I had over $20,000 in debt. I began praying the Rosary daily. Within 6 months, opportunities appeared out of nowhere. Today, I am debt-free. So here's the challenge. Start today, not tomorrow. Today, pray one Rosary, just one, and watch what God does. If you accept this challenge, write in the comments, "I accept the challenge." That creates public commitment. And if you complete the 54 days, come back and share your testimony. Others need to hear it. Let me tell you the final thing Padre Pio said about the Rosary. Shortly before his death in 1968, a friar asked him, "Father, what is the greatest advice you can give someone who wants to grow spiritually?" Padre Pio, weak and exhausted, tightly grasped his rosary and said, "Love Our Lady and make her loved. Pray the Rosary always." These were essentially his final public words. A man who bore the stigmata of Christ for 50 years. A man who bilocated red hearts, healed thousands. A man who fought demons face to face. That man said the most powerful weapon is the Rosary. Satan is terrified right now, not because you watched this video, but because you can seat on it. The question isn't whether the Rosary works. The question is, will you have the courage to pick it up and use it? Our Lady is waiting, Jesus is waiting, and your life is about to change. Trust God. Pick up the Rosary and watch the impossible happen. If you made it this far, congratulations. You are part of the 5% who truly seek transformation. Share this video with someone who needs this message, and I'll see you in the next one. May God bless you powerfully. Amen.